So again, with this one, you are combining an acid, and you know it's an acid because it has that HCl, with a base. You know it's a base because it has that base because it has that OH, so FeOH3. And whenever you combine an acid and a base, it's a neutralization reaction. An acid plus a base always gives you a salt and water. So we know water is H2O. We just have to figure out the salt. Now, the salt, to get the salt, we take everything that's not H or OH, basically. The cation from the base, that's iron here. And unfortunately, we don't know the charge on iron because it's a transition metal. So we have to figure it out using one of those little algebraic equations. So what we have is this compound, and in the top right, nothing is written, so everything has to add up to 0. Now, I have two ions here. I have the iron, and I have the polyatomic ion, OH. I'm going to separate those with a plus sign. I only have one iron, so I'm going to write 1 there. We don't know the charge on iron, so I'm going to write X. We have 3 OHs, so I'm going to write 3. And we do know the charge on OH. We would have that memorized. OH is a polyatomic ion with a -1 charge. So together, this would give you X minus 3 equals 0. Add 3 to both sides. Cancels on the left. X equals +3. So that would be the charge on iron. Iron would have a 3+. 3+ charge, so that's 3+ right there. Just going to clear this off to make some room. Okay, so iron is going to combine with the other thing that's not hydrogen or oxygen, the Cl in hydrochloric acid. Now, chlorine has a -1 charge because it's in column 7A on the periodic table. So to combine these, always put the positively charged thing first. So those are the two ions, and now remember to crisscross them. The 1 at the top of the chlorine goes at the bottom of iron, so we'll have just Fe. And the 3 at the top of iron goes at the bottom of chlorine, so we'll have Cl3. So that is the skeleton of the equation. We just have to balance it now. To balance everything except for oxygen and hydrogen first. So on this left side I have 1 chlorine. On the right side we have 3. So what can I multiply 1 by to give me 3? 3. So that's that. Next we go to the irons. On the left side we only have 1 iron. On the right side we also only have 1 iron. So those are balanced. Okay, now let's think about the hydrogens. We'll do this one molecule at a time. This first molecule has 3 hydrogens because you're distributing that number in front. The second molecule also has 3 hydrogens because you're distributing that number outside of the parentheses. Altogether, that's 6 hydrogens. On the right side, we only have 2. So what can I multiply 2 by to give me 6? 3. Okay, so much for the hydrogens. Last but not least, let's balance the oxygens. On this left side, we have 3 oxygens because you're distributing that number outside of the parentheses. On the right side, we also have 3 oxygens because you're distributing the number in front. So the oxygens are balanced, everything is balanced, and this would be your final